Some argue this may be the most important election in the history of our nation, with a lot on the line, especially for Catholics. Joining us now is St. John's University political science professor Browne. And Brian, both candidates made their final push for votes right up to the wire, hitting all of the battleground states. And today, President Trump working the phones from the White House, while Joe Biden made his way back to his hometown of Scranton. Do you think it will make a difference at this point?
Well, based on the turnout, yes. There's long lines at the polls, a record-breaking turnout. It could be unprecedented. So, the candidates are doing the right thing by working right up to the last minute.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Tens of millions hit the polls before today. There were record numbers of early voters this year here in New York City. More than 1 million cast their ballots early. So how unprecedented is the sheer volume of early voting, and how do you think it will affect the outcome?
Well, certainly it will have a big effect on the outcome. We're looking at an unprecedented voter turnout. It'd be interesting to see, are people voting early because of their candidate and the passion for the election? Are they voting early because of COVID-19 and they want to avoid long lines and crowds? So it'd be really curious to see the exit polls to what's motivating voters. But we could see a record-breaking turnout, and that's a good thing for both parties.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the congressional races, because these races could actually determine who has the power in Washington. Now, the Republicans have control of the Senate right now, but there are enough seats up for grabs that could change that. So what do you see happening, and how can the balance of power be tipped?
Well, the Democrats need a net gain of 4 seats to get control of the Senate. And if Joe Biden wins, then you'll have one party in power of all our branches of government, and that is will be interesting and certainly give you a mandate for the Biden administration. Here in New York, we have a number of close seats, in particular Staten Island, Brooklyn, New York 11. There's a couple of close races out east in Long Island, as well as in the Central Valley. So a lot of interesting races going on. I think the Democrats will maintain control of the House. The Senate is certainly up for grabs, and we'll see what happens. But we may not know until January, because Georgia is looking like it'll go to a runoff election if no candidate gets a majority. And so we might be waiting around a long time to see who is in complete control.
Right. Now, there's a lot of talk about the Latino vote in this election. Historically, while this group tends to be more conservative, they vote Democratic. But we are seeing a lot of Latino support for Trump this election year. In fact, there was a big Trump rally in Miami over the weekend. Do you think the Biden campaign did enough to court the Latino vote this year?
Well, it'll be interesting to see, because the Biden campaign really laid low until about Labor Day. And then, he really got out on the road. The Trump campaign really emphasized a ground game, and they did some micro-targeting of the Latino vote to really drill down into the diverse constituency that they are. When you see Barack Obama going down to Florida, he's a pretty heavy hitter and a surrogate for the Biden campaign. So that tells me that they're concerned about the turnout, and we'll have to see.
All right. So do you think we'll know who won tonight?
I hope so, but not for certain, especially if it comes down to Pennsylvania. I think there's 7 counties that don't even open up the ballots until tomorrow. So it could be a while, but God willing, when the dust settles, we'll have a clear winner and we can all move forward.
All right, we'll check back in with you tomorrow. Browne, St. John's University political science professor, thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to get instant updates about all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.